and I'll start, and then we might have to change from here. Let's see how this goes.
Okay, so for those just joining, I'm Dr. Anil Rajani, and many of you know I've did most of my training in Canada, been in the United States for a long time, and I travel the globe. I'm in Korea a lot, Hong Kong, Singapore, Southeast Asia, Europe. And if you follow some of my videos, I take you there in the videos. So please join me on the channel and follow that. But I am the CEO of Rajani MD. You see here Rajani Aesthetic Advancements. That's a training center that I have for providers and medical providers on procedures. And then you can see down here, I train for a lot of the companies that provide your fillers and your neuromodulators like Botox, including facial volumizers and Latibo, Korean ones that are now FDA approved in the US, and there's many, many more coming. And then you see down here, I have trademarks on a lot of procedures for the face, but also devices. So that's a little bit about me. How did we get here tonight? Because a lot of people are wondering why the topic, why not me? And this was a comment on one of my videos that one of you probably said. It was from a viewer, and he said this: look, I'm 63 and I'm hot. Why did that happen? So why was that the case? Well, someone had responded in the comments. Why are you guys all worried about wrinkles and lines? Why can't you just age naturally? I always say to that, I don't know what natural aging is. Does that mean no makeup, no hair color? Does that mean you can't get a heart valve replaced, a knee if you need it? Is that unnatural? Where is that line? Nobody knows anymore. And this was on a video on lip lines, on vertical lip lines. And so the person said, well, now it's an option to have them or not. So these are all interesting topics of conversation. But it brought me into peptides, the body, what are some of the choices, and how to maintain the face fat pads, and the look while you're losing weight. And also, more importantly, understanding that it's not just about losing weight. And that's what I'm going to show you today. We'll go through some of the top peptides that there are and that people are using. But I put a poll up because I always like learning more about comments like that. And if you look here, look at the top, what I asked: do women still feel judged by caring about how they look? Because I don't think men do at all. And here was the response. I was genuinely interested in this. 44%, if you see here, women judge themselves the most. That was the theme. And you can go join me in the YouTube community section as well, because women judge themselves the most. And put in the comments whether you agree with that. But that was the biggest response. And then 37%, like where this live stream came from, yes, people call it vain. So people have a lot of those feelings. They don't want to take care of themselves, their bodies, because people think they might be vain. Interestingly, only 5% said after a certain age, because a lot of people say, well, why worry after 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever number you want. And I thought it must be more accepted now. But look at this. 14% said it's more accepted now. That one blew me away. So that's where this came from. Okay, so why not you? That's what I thought about. And here's why. I think a lot of people feel guilt. So they have guilt if they take care of themselves. They think, hey, I'm not worth it. But here's the thing. It's your health and your body. A lot of this is not just aesthetics. But if you're not worth it, who is? And I'm going to go into the journey in a second, but a lot of people feel embarrassed to even say that they're doing stuff like this. And then here's a key one with this stuff, because we are talking about peptides. Peptides are chains of amino acid, and the peptide acts like a signal in the body. So peptides are also your Ozempic, your Wegovy, all the ones you hear about, the new retatrutide, but they're also things like ipamorelin. Copper peptides, one you guys often ask me about. But how do you get access to these things? Because a lot of them aren't FDA approved, and people are stacking and microdosing. We're going to talk about them. And then, of course, here's a big one: money. The clip at the beginning, if you missed it, some people are spending 50 to 80 grand a year, $80,000 a year. But they believe that they're worth it. And understand this, we need to talk about this on money. When you spend a little money on yourself, if you're especially still in the workforce, it pays back. So you get it paid back because often the more fresher you look, the more money you make, the more fresher you feel. Get up at 8 in the morning, you go to work, by 9 o'clock, you're ready to charge, you're going to make more money. The more you're passionate about the things you do. And these peptides, along with some of the natural things I'm going to talk to you about today, because natural is the most important thing in all of this. It's not drugs or injections, it's what you can do naturally, but helps you make more money. And I think this exactly is what we see in other countries, but not in the USA so much. People don't talk about it. So let me stop there on there. That's the intro into the why. And maybe I don't need to talk about that because you guys already know the why. But I'm going to tell you, it's the number one barrier of people looking into it. Now I'm going to talk about the FDA. I'm going to talk about complications. We can talk about the blood panel and everything you need. We can talk about hormone replacement therapy a little bit. But not knowing about this and not researching it, if you've already done a lot of the natural stuff. Let me tell you a little story I saw the other day, and I'm glad we kind of have a little closed group because I don't mean to be mean, but I'm sitting there and I'm out on the water and had a little incident out in the water. The water's cold and I lost my board. My leash came off and I caught it. Everything worked out well, but I'm like, got back, I'm frozen, maybe a little hypothermic, hypoglycemic. And I'm like, oh, good. I'm still alive. And I go, I'm having a burger and a beer. I'm shaking. So I'm like, okay, I'm going for what I don't eat a lot, but I just was happy to eat anything. So I go to the restaurant, I pull in, I'm sitting there and I'm eating. And a family walks in and there's a boy, a father and a mother, and there's 3 girls. The boy, pretty good height for body weight. The 3 girls were 4 times the size of me. And I'm looking there and I'm going, they're already in trouble. That's already trouble. And I'm just telling you from a doctor, from a health point, from an aesthetic point, from a skin point, how can that be, right? And there could be many reasons. But if you don't take care of that now, it also reflects on what your family's doing. And I don't know the reasons for that, but you see it all the time. The boys look stick thin. So we know the food, the hormones in the food, it's at a whack. So my point in this is no one's going to help you. RFK, all these guys, the changes in the food system, that's not happening quick enough to help us and our families. So unfortunately, it's on us. So that's how I'd like to intro as we move into this. And then we are talking about it's not the panacea of it all, and there are downsides of things. If you want to talk about the lab, I see Mathena talking about lab draws and approximate levels. Yeah, but I mean, basically, I'll tell you one other thing that you need to know. When I'm in Asia, particularly Southeast Asia, and if I take Korea and Japan, China's the same. I can walk in, and your basic lab is going to be your estrogen, testosterone, morning cortisol, CBC, CMP. You're going to get your thyroid checked, your CRP, your inflammatory factors, your basic stuff here. So it'll be a 3-page panel, and your doctor's going to look at you, and they're going to be like, if you go into America here, they're like, what do you need an ApoB for? You know, when you're doing your lipid panel, what do you need that for? And you're going to be like, you're going to know more than your doctor, and so it's terrible. You go into a clinic, and I haven't been in Europe. And interestingly, funny, in Europe, I can go over there and use my doctor license almost anywhere. It seems they let me go to Asia. They don't know who I am. It's $25 for an MRI of the head. You get all this lab work plus stuff I got to look up. I'm looking this stuff to see what it is. Never heard of it before. And all of that stuff is just a couple $100. So understand it's crazy where we're at. But that's your basic lab panel is going to be. So let's go on. We'll pop up with the second part of the lecture because I want to get into the meat of it. But you got to understand there's no one more important than you. And without your own education, this goes nowhere. So let's pop in and let me navigate this for a minute. So give me a second here. Those points. Here, when you talk about all natural, what you want to consider the most important thing, muscle. So muscle in your body. But here is the most important part. Look here, right up here. It's not for the reason you think. And one of the things I tell you is this. It's number one here, okay? It burns calories. So meaning if you go work out, you're burning calories for the next few days. And while that's true, look here, the difference is small in the big picture. And I think that's important to understand. Here are the real reasons. Number two, real metabolic benefits. So the real benefits are to your metabolic health. Think about blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity. More on that in a moment. Many of you are well versed. Some of you are like, what are you talking about? And I think it's 30 or 40% of America, particularly, it spills over to Canada 4 or 5 years later, is metabolic syndrome. Okay, so we'll talk about that. But muscle supports more than size. Look here. Let's see if I can change the color for us here. Might be easier to see. Muscle supports strength, function, and here it is. If you don't care about anything, look at this. Long-term independence. So by keeping your body upright, if you're like me and you have back problems, the more your core is strong, the better you move around, the more you can work, the more you maintain your bones, the more you're functional, the better life you have. So investing in you. And muscle also helps you stay active, and that drives your long-term health, like we said. So consider those. Very, very important in this whole theme is muscle. And we talked about face on this channel. It's muscle in your face. But here's the key thing. If you have those feelings of guilt, if you have those feelings of embarrassment, what would you rather look like? This on the right or this on the left? Now, you can say either and it's fine. You might want to look like the one on the left versus the right one on the right. Not a problem. It's a journey. It's individual. But here's the thing. This person changed and morphed from left to right. Let me erase that for a minute for you. The thing to understand, eraser's not working, there we go. And these are key points I do want to highlight for you. The key thing to understand here is, let's go to red for a minute. What did this person change? Strength training 3 to 4 times per week. So many go to cardio. Why do women especially seem to go to the gym? They go right to cardio because I think you can get on your headset, you can watch your podcast, you feel like you look younger, feel better, and you over cardio. Protein. And people don't like what I tell them about protein, but for me and my patients, I put them at 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight per day. And that's on the high side, no question. You could go half of that, so half a gram to 1, but it's higher than people think. And the reason I say it is that when you calculate your protein, you're going to see most women particularly are deficient. This is what walks into my practice. She walked about 10,000 steps per day, so that is moderate exercise. Improved sleep. I think this is one that people discount. If I took you and all your labs are awesome, and I stress you out for 3 months and I recheck them, your hemoglobin A1C likely be up. Your AM cortisol, all day cortisol, will be up. Your C-reactive protein, your inflammatory markers of your body, probably up. All those things, probably hormones down, testosterone down, and all the things that go with it. So people underestimate sleep. And then here it is, I gotta remove everything so you see this one. This is important. Let's get rid of all that. So consistency over time is number one. But this is so important. And when you understand this, it's going to help your complete journey. Look at this. So fat versus muscle. What we need to understand is that fat, look at the scale. This is equal. So this muscle here, as you gain muscle and you replace your fat, muscle's going to weigh more. So there's 5 pounds of muscle on the right, 5 pounds of fat on the left as an example. And what this means, you're going to look on the scale and you're going to go, I'm 150 pounds. I'm going to go 3, 4 months, even a month later. You're going to go, oh, I'm still 150. People are going to go and they're going to look, you look amazing. What are you doing? oh, you look slimmer. What are you doing? And you're thinking, I better not tell them I'm the same weight. Has nothing to do with it. You're metabolically, beautifully shifting your fat to muscle. The scale might not show it. And that's an important factor. People say to me, women are all, oh, my legs are too big, my calves are too big, I don't wear dresses. No, got to get over that. Muscle is amazing for your entire life. It looks better, and you're looking at the scale thinking you don't look great. So ask questions, comment if you've seen that. Put it in the comments. Okay, so I want to stop before we get into the actual drugs themselves. And again, I'm not telling you to do peptides. I'm telling you, and at the end, I'll list the healthy things too that you have to do first. And I'll tell you what the questions are of the peptides. But what this is for discussion. And so we understand it's not about weight. It's not about the scale. Times have changed. And facial muscle is something I'm studying very closely. And there will be solutions for you guys in terms of the aesthetics. But understanding we're learning from facial muscle what we know about body muscle and the pull on the bones and how you keep your bones, and that keeps your longevity, and what the bones in the face do for that. So let's take a couple of questions here before we move on to the exact drugs. What I'd like to know before we move in, here's my question to you. There's different, if you're on a weight loss one that you get from your doctor, put that in the comments which one you're on. If you're on one of the peptides like sermorelin, ipamorelin, if you're on GPC 157, if you're on copper peptides, if you're on whatever peptides you're on, put it in the comments, and this will be able to tailor it much more to you. But I'm interested to see what all you guys are on. I think I know. Zepbound, sermorelin. Sermorelin, interesting, is an older one, right? I knew about that 10, 15 years ago, and I still like it. Retatrutide, so some of you obtained Reta, great. FDA approved probably January, February. Zepbound, interesting. I'm going to tell you, Reta, tirzepatide, I'm going to tell you right now, the number one, so this is an educated group, and there's GHKCU and Reta, so you're stacking. D Silva is stacking, good. Tirzepatide, the number one peptide that I have found that female aesthetic practitioners, because they're pretty much all nurses, nurse practitioners, and plastic surgeons, a lesser extent, dermatologists, yes. So it's very interesting which ones will go on it. But the number one, and I think nurses and nurse practitioners end up being, they're on top of this because they're interested for themselves, and they're often of the age. Tirzepatide, micro-dosing tirzepatide. And we're going to go into it in a minute, go back to the lecture, but here's the one reason why. I want you to think of these two things. Tirzepatide, for those that don't know, Zepbound, some of you already are on there in Zepbound. Here's the thing. They decrease inflammation. So what age is this? Inflammation in the face. What causes glycation, or the elastic fibers in the face becoming stiff and you get wrinkles? Glycation's from excess sugar, and your fasting blood glucose could be fine. Your hemoglobin A1C could potentially be fine, but you're spiking your sugars and getting changes in your skin and you're aging. So they're on a microdose of tirzepatide. So inflammation, blood sugar control, and the two things that we're looking at, number one is the effect on the heart. Could it help the heart? Now, Reta, not to get too confused here, but that can speed up the heart rate a little bit. That's a different thing. And we don't know why it might help your heart, because of course blood sugars might, so it could be a secondary effect from it. But also brain and cognition. And of course, we know that changes in cognition as we age could be from, of course, microinfarcts, often easier to see, but also microcirculatory changes. So where the brain's just not getting great blood flow to the lacunar areas, or what we call the small areas of perfusion. Here, CJC 1295, so GLP, I see what you guys are all on them. NAD, interesting. A lot on Zepbound, but we're going to go on to the next lecture part. But just know tirzepatide, for what it's worth, it's the number one thing that I see, number one peptide that the female injectors age, you start to get around 39 to 55 are on. And here's the one thing,
they're thin to begin with. So, but they're looking younger and not thinner. But I showed you that picture of muscular, appropriately muscular. So it just blew my mind the amount of people on it and how good they looked. I'm reporting. Let's go to the third part of the lecture, and we're getting into more of the drugs there. And then let's see.
Looking for data, you're all like, hey, where's the long-term data in all of this? But understand, women are left behind in studies. This has been like this for a long time. Think hormone replacement therapy. I put up a video about 10 years ago talking about the Women's Health Initiative study, how they were wrong about hormones. That was like 2010, so that's already 16 years ago. And they're now just coming out and telling you, yeah, hormone therapy replacement is not as dangerous as people think. And so think about that. That is amazing that there was that time lag. How many women were not on it all this time because of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt from wrong data? So what are the important things to think about? Because we know that only 27% of female participants are now in studies. That was about 0 recently, or 20, 30 years ago. So you can see males here are 73% better representative. And if you think about it, it's mostly white, so skin type 1 to 3. So how do we extrapolate that to everyone else? Well, the most important thing is really your doctor, finding someone that cares. Data, okay, there likely might not be data on what you're trying to find, what you want. And that you might have to accept that, because that's where we are in the scheme of things. Quality versus quantity, this is so important. Do you care, and comment in the comment section, do you care about the quality of life that you have or the quantity? Let's say you're 60, and I could say, and this is tough stuff to think about, but many of us are at that point where you go, you're 60, okay. Would you rather live to 70 and do everything you did when you were 30? But maybe you run into more problems at 70 because of what you took? Or would you rather live from 60 to 80, but have osteoporosis, be bent over, and not be able to function the way you want with low energy and all those things that go with it? So that's something no one can answer for you, but with lack of data, you might have to answer that question softly in your mind. And then understand this, and no one wants to talk about this, doing nothing has repercussions. So if you sit there, you don't feel well, you might be overweight, your body composition is poor, you're tired, you can't work, you don't have a job, now you're not having money because of all that. Doing nothing, that might not be the answer. So what's the flip side of doing nothing? It's the same with facial aesthetics. If you don't do anything to those vertical lip lines or the high cheek or the jawline or the neck, that's okay. But what's the repercussions of doing nothing? Both have risks, doing something and doing nothing. And then think about it this way. You might only go to these things when everything you've tried naturally, and we'll finish the slides with naturally, when you tried everything naturally and it didn't work. So if you failed all natural methods, and that's sometimes the way I look at it for me. Now, what are the top 5 peptides now? I did a complete video on this. So people want a deep dive. Well, BPC 157, that's a healing peptide. A lot of people with knee pain, back pain, or they're just working out, they want to recover quick, they go on BPC 157. Ipamorelin and tesamorelin. We'll talk about that more in a minute. This is the number one you asked me about, GHKCU. So if you're just starting your journey, think of these 3. And of course, peptides, I should mention, are Ozempic, Wegovy, tirzepatide, retatrutide, all the weight loss ones you see advertised ad nauseum to you on TV, sporting events, anywhere you go. And then there's other ones that people use, and they stack them. So they use micro doses of smaller ones. We can talk about this after the presentation in the comments. Comment now in the comment section, which ones are you using, or what are you interested in but you're scared to use? BPC 157, Ipamorelin, okay, so Ipamorelin or tesamorelin, and those are for fat body composition. Tesamorelin, one might say, is a little stronger acting than the Ipamorelin, or GHKCU, which is people get skin glow, hair growth, collagen production, wound healing. So comment which ones you're on. And of course, there's groups of other ones. But those are the top ones.
here. And so we can talk about that because there's a lot there. And as you see, there's a ton of these things. But tesamorelin, you might know, is that's FDA approved because it was for people with HIV that had fat around their organs. We call it visceral fat. So those people I saw when I'm having my burger, they would have had visceral fat for sure, fatty liver fat around the organs. And it's very powerful at doing that. And then, of course, people take it microdose for other uses, but tesamorelin, ipamorelin, and sermorelin that I can't remember the gal that commented on. Sermorelin I heard of about 15, 20 years ago. A lot of the gals in the industry were on that. GHKCU, that's one of the big ones, right? And then Retta, yeah. So like you see where it can get confusing. One thing I got to bring up is the doctor on there. I need to empower you of one thing, and you're going to be frustrated by this, and I know. Trust me, I know, because my patients are very frustrated on the hormone side of just finding a good doctor to understand what estrogen is, that it can cause, lack of it causes osteoporosis, lack of it gives you brain fog, lack of estrogen gives you frozen shoulder. If you've had frozen shoulder, comment here, and I bet you go into your doctor and you go, I got frozen shoulder, and your doctor never says, hey, are you perimenopausal, menopausal? How's your estrogen look? Most people don't know, but I don't know the number. It's high, but 15 or 20% of women get frozen shoulder. A lot of times, a very high percentage of those women end up being from loss of estrogen. You can't make this stuff up. So you might go 5-6 years with that shoulder not working. Your whole life has changed. So BPC 157, people who are on the peptides and different things. So, understand there's things you might not even think about that you might have that are ailing you that now we're going to know. A beautiful part of AI is that it's going to change all this, and the doctors who aren't up on this stuff because they're just looking at the screen doing what the FDA told them, they're going to get called out. The AI now is reading x-rays better than humans. It's doing all kinds of stuff. So that is a positive part of AI as it comes. Anything work for eyesight? Yeah, a lot of people are going to say, never heard of frozen shoulder? Watch when you see the comments here, how many women, right there, there's frozen shoulder, had frozen shoulder, had frozen shoulder. I mean, you can't make this up. It takes a webinar like this to bring out the data, yet your doctor, which you're all going to, has never heard of this happening. And you're going in the OR with an orthopedic, God love them, and putting you under so they get your frozen shoulder. See how many women here? It's very painful. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And there's, it's frustrating to me that you're getting, that no one's helping people. So that's why we're on here. Let's go to the last part of the lecture, and then let's have a discussion and share everything. So let's talk about these two a little bit, because when you're talking body composition, what we're talking about today, you want to feel better and you want to have more muscle, less fat. People talk about tesamorelin as the powerhouse and ipamorelin as a little more gentle. And we'll talk about microdosing them, but a lot of people, even when we talk about pros and cons, a lot of experts who give these to patients, they will kind of disagree on some of these because they're using dosing. Everyone's a little different, and we tailor it differently to different people. But overall, ipamorelin is, maybe you might say, a little more subtle results, yet it's better tolerated. So one trade-off, and there's another benefit. That's how this stuff kind of goes. You're making these decisions, but a lot of people stack low doses of both. What does that mean? It's called microdosing. Microdosing, right here, is use of very small amounts, 1/10 to 1/20 the normal dose. So people might be on 0.05 milligram, 0.125 milligram, very small amounts of peptides, well below the standard dose to support natural process and optimize results. Here it is, with minimal risk of side effects. And that's why many people don't have 100 pounds, 150 pounds to lose. There are people that are thin that you look at and go, oh, they're thin, and they're on low dose. Tirzepatide is the number one you see them on for the anti-inflammatory effects, for the insulin effects, so they don't get glycation in their face, and all of those things. I wanted to show you this real quick because this just shows you volumization of a face.
This volumizing face has been done forever. This is with something called PLLA, poly-L-lactic acid, or Sculptra, one of my favorites. But you can see this is volumization of face, because you hear about Ozempic face, Wegovy face, all these things now. This happened for many different reasons over time before. It's not new to us, so we know how to deal with it, but more studies are being done. And fillers, yes, they're out a little bit, but they're actually quite good when used with biostimulators on the face front of things. And this just shows filler migration. It's why a lot of people moved away from hyaluronic acid cross-link fillers, as we call them. And the trend now becomes towards the baby face, and that's volumization, not buccal fat removal. So when people lose too much weight beyond 10 pounds quickly, whether you're into doing things for your face or not, you end up tending towards doing something because of a little bit of muscle loss, but fat changes not only in the body, but end up being in the face. Much more coming on this and how you can build your facial muscles over the next coming months. And I'll be in Korea again this month, and I'll tell you more from over there. But one of the things that's clear, when you were talking about volumization, I'm going to go through some things. You need skin tightening with it. So all these devices that were used for skin tightening before, and you can see there's a lot, all the ones in clinic, they're restudying all their data on GLP-1, GIP, and if you take retatrutide, also has other factors in it for thermogenic effects. Okay, so that would have.
Well, I'll stop there, and we're going into the aesthetic part of it. I'll talk to you about the glucagon with that, but then I'm going to go through some of the biostimulators used. Why is that important? The number one reason that people, and we're an aesthetic channel here, adjust or come off of drugs that help with their sugars and everything is they start looking old. And the number one thing that they say is, I look great. I feel great in my body. I'm doing everything I want. But people around me are looking at me saying, boy, you look thin. Whatever word you want to do that people are politely saying, you look older. Okay, you've changed. And yet they're feeling good inside. And it's one of the worst things. There's nothing worse than that. You look tired, and yet you're feeling like better than you ever have. So we're talking about the aesthetic part of it here. And I want you to understand how big of a problem is. First of all, the number now is 35%. So it's closing in on 4 out of 10 people walking into their family practice, doctor or primary care internist, are asking for one of these peptides. 4 out of 5. That's going to be 50%. It's ridiculous numbers. So what all the companies have figured out, the sculptor companies, the biostimulator companies, and they're doing studies on this. It's a race to show, hey, we've taken these patients on these drugs and we're able to give them our product for the face, and they're looking younger. And there's something called face priming. So this is the last part of the lecture, and then we're going to get into the discussion. And I want to take you through, I'll give you that landing page for all the stuff we have on sale for you after this last part. But I think you're going to find that the discussions in here are going to be revealing after this last part. But let's go into the aesthetic part and pop into the last part of this lecture.
Same head, okay? And it's taken off the same device. And you can see you can do this at home on this side, and you can do that as much as you want. And that's the NUA device. I talk about all. One I wanted to talk to you about today, one of that some of you know. And of course, AI is deflationary in that things are now available at home that weren't before. But give you an example of this. This is, if you look on this side here, let me go to red so you can see. This is EndyMed in-clinic device, $400 or $500 a pop when you go in. This is your home device now. Same head, okay? And it's taken off the same device. And you can see you can do this at home on this side, and you can do that as much as you want. And that's the NUA device I talk about all the time, and I have playlists on it as well. But that's bipolar RF. The Korean machines coming over are monopolar RF. What does that mean? Look at the heads here. The radio frequency goes from one head to the other, so it's much more controlled. A monopolar RF just goes all through the body with the energy. We can go into more of that detail, but understand that let me remove some of these so you understand this a little bit. if you look here, this would be what a typical clinic would pay 100 grand for a device like this. And you'll see they come with different heads, but they're bipolar because there's 2 electrodes. So, and they go to different depths. But with the device, the home device, we can switch so you get different depths in one device. So just to say, a lot of this now occurs at home. Now you're going to wonder about temperature because you want to preserve your face fat. And today I was talking to someone that lost their neck fat here from in-clinic RF microneedling. That's 67 degrees. But look here, this is right there is where you want to stay, right around 42 degrees. Okay, and that's what the shutoff of home devices like the NUA shuts off at 42, so that you don't and you cannot at home heat up higher. In clinics, we want to get to 42. In fact, I go to 67 to kill fat. So ask questions in the comment section about this if you don't understand. But look here, this is, let's erase that again so it makes more sense. If you look here, so you see what you're seeing, because there's different types of devices out there that you need to know. And this is your CO2 laser type of, you see your laser surfacing. You can see the depth. I talked about monopolar here. The thermal energy goes through the body. It's less controlled. What you want at home, if you guys are using, is bipolar RF right here, because the electricity goes controlled one to the other. You know the depth. And of course, here's your RF microneedling. And I target this fat layer here. So down in here, I target that. Let's go to yellow so you see, I guess pink, purple. Okay, so down in here, I'm targeting that because I want to get rid of fat in certain areas, submentum and the jowl. So you see, just to get an idea of heating, this is what these home devices look like for skin tightening. And here, everyone wants to see before and afters. And if you look here, you're just looking here, this is after 4 weeks, and you just see this is improved from over here. A little improvement underneath the neck here, and of course the jowl there. And if you want to see that, I'll remove that. I have tons of pictures and a whole playlist on how to use these devices. If you have devices at home, you want to look at them, see what are they, galvanics? Are they lasers? Are they RF, which is what I'm talking about here. So you really want to know what your device is, and hopefully you do. And I'll do more of this coming up. But here you can see, if you're not concerned about the neck or the jowls, which most of us are, it's nice to see the result on thin skin where fat is absolutely necessary. And if you look here, this is an area where, of course, you need fat around the eyes. There's no fat there. So you can see if you got rid of that micro layer of fat, it would look worse. But after 12 weeks of using a device like NUA, you get an improvement. And that's no toxin, nothing else used. I'll remove the mark so you can see. Again, I have all kinds of videos and many, many before and afters on this, but I want to give you an idea of RF. Talking about the baby face and refilling and glucagon.
Let's stop that for 1 sec. Let me get myself back up. We'll stop it there. And here I am. Okay, so I got one section left on biostimulators because it's important, but I want to talk about what devices you had. Okay, so bad experience with RF microneedling, never again, looked older. I got to take, this is so important. This is from Perfectly Imperfect. Maybe it was going to be Perfectly Imperfect. I like your name. Bad experience with microneedling, never again, looked older. So hopefully there's a question up. We pinned it up. My team pinned it up. By the way, thanks to my team. They're in here today. They're in the back end. They're conversing with you there. Obviously, I can't do this alone. Thank you so much. But understand now that I explained it, I probably put 100 videos up on this, and it's still one of the most commonly misunderstood phenomena. And I was on a call today with a bunch of Korean companies who are just rocking it with monopolar RF heating. Someone said in the comments, my NUA gets hot. Understand, 42 degrees to me, at my age, you lose all sensation, right? 42, I feel it hot, and I do actually feel NUA get hot sometimes. But my point is, some people are going to be more sensitive than to the other. But if you measure the temperature, and I have an external thermometer that I can test devices with, so I can shine it from outside, it's pretty cool, at the skin, and I can check the temperature. NUA won't get to above 42. You might feel like it's burning your face off. And the next person at the same temperature goes, I hardly feel a thing. That's just humans. It's like when I inject lidocaine into someone, they're like, I don't feel anything. I can put a vial of lidocaine in other people, like a numbing injection, and they're like, they can't feel anything for 8 hours. So we just feel pain is subjective, as we call it. Understand that. But look here, the bad experience with RF microneedling and why I was on the call with someone today that had it on their neck, because imagine if I lost my neck fat here, you're going to see all my bones, my hyoid and my thyroid cartilage, and my neck would be like, you'd see everything underneath. You'd be like, your neck's old. Don't comment in the comment that my neck's old, because it is, but you get where I'm going to be older. And so, because I need that fat, and the formula to get the fat back, by the way, is 5 parts PRF to 1 part Radiesse. That's a good combination. If you've lost it with a cannula, you need to get it back. That works well. But the reason is the temperature, and RF microneedling probably should never be done from here to here unless you really know who you're seeing. But even with me, and I've done thousands, I don't treat this with RF microneedling unless I failed everything else. Here to here, absolutely. Here to here, a little bit. Here, no problem. Here, imagine, never. So understand, you might have had a bad experience with RF microneedling. So sorry about that. But remember, it's not the device. It's the person operating the device, because I can set mine to this deep. I have one that goes a long pulse duration of 6 seconds, full 6, I was going to say milliseconds, but 1,000 milliseconds is a second. And I have one that goes to 6,000. So up to 6 seconds of heat. You can count up to 1 to 6. It's the most ever on the planet Earth. And I have that. And that gets rid of fat. I would never do that in other areas. Ask questions on that. I don't want to go on about it. We talk about it all the time. Can you explain skin priming like I'm 5? Because I keep hearing what that term is. I love that. And it's not like you're 5. What it is, I'll tell you, and this is to Unisource Discovery 6818. It's not that you're 5. It's that a lot of people want to use that word because it's in Korea, from Korea, and they've never been to Korea and they don't know what skin priming is, so they just make it up. And so you're hearing different things. I'm going into skin priming in the last part of this lecture. And it's probably, if you're into aesthetics in any way with all these drugs, and even if you're not, or if you're losing weight, or if you even go to the gym and work out, this last part you really need to watch. And then of course, I'm going to give you the landing page for all the specials and answer the questions. But by the way, before I forget about this part, of course, we have Memorial Day coming up, very near and dear to me. And I want to thank all the military people, past and present. And we celebrate that all year long, by the way, with a 10% off. And understand why we're here and the freedoms we have. And you might not agree why people leave and go to war. That's fine. But a lot of people, and especially historically, went because they were told to go or didn't have a choice. And they came back or never came back, or came back very different. That's never lost on me. And we need to teach that to our kids so they understand. I think one of the things we don't do a good job of is, yeah, we're going to have a 24 pack of beer, but why are we having that Memorial Day? So we celebrate that all year long, and it's important to us. Back to it. Let's go into what priming is, and I'll show you some things that you use to prime, but in the nutshell, and this is studied, you guys, this is studied. You guys would have access to some of this data if you really look. I have access to all of it because I'm working with the companies that are studying it. And I see some raw data. And what it is, it's getting your skin ready for an event. And that event right now is weight loss, working out, over cardio, facial fat loss. There's many other reasons, inflammation from the sun. But right now it's because of losing more than 10 pounds or being on these medications. So it's priming means, and where it came from. You want to know the real definition? And watch some of my Korean videos. Hopefully I do a good job, but like I said, I'm going again here. I should do a better job of showing you. But when you go into a Korean clinic, you don't go to let's say your number one procedure you're getting done is RF microneedling. You never go in and just get RF microneedling. You start by cleansing, by exfoliating, by red light. You're going to get red light therapy. You're going to get some skin boosting. Then you're going to get your RF microneedling. You still don't go home. You go in the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. not alone, with 3 other people, and you're all talking about the treatments. So Americans would be like, oh, they'd be shy and they'd be scared, and other people might see them, and they know that. No, you walk into hyperbaric oxygen, you're with 3 or your people you never heard about. You're talking about, what did you just get? I got the salmon sperm. I got this. I got that. Like, people share. You share what you get done, and so that's the beautiful thing of it. And so priming would be, in that case, getting the skin ready for the RF microneedling. So when you blast the skin, you create injury in the skin. What has to happen for this to work? Just like Thermage, just like Ulthera, just like HIPU, any treatment, CO2 laser, the skin has to heal itself. Those healing factors depend on how well you slept the 3 months before, if you're on peptides and everything, if you use your red light, if you're healthy. All those things depend on how well your treatment's going to work. So as much as you want to say, well, Ulthera, Thermage, RF, it never worked for me, you may not have given it the chance because you didn't prime. Your skin wasn't ready for it. You were inflamed. You were tired. You were drinking. You're taking red wine. Nothing wrong with those things, but they're not going to optimize your treatment. So let's go into the last bit of that video and I'll show you that. Because you want to prime your skin before your weight loss, before going on your peptides, or at least during. Priming means setting your skin up for a change, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to change your skin. But if you look, how do you prime skin? What are the things? Okay, so let's go to the pen function, skincare. You guys all know about that. Microneedling, whether you're doing dry microneedling or using something like plasmasomes, exosomes are pointed signals. Actually, they're not pointed signals, they're a milieu of signals for all kinds of things. So exosomes can be signals to do good things or bad things. Good things would be skin. Bad things would be increasing inflammation, let's say, or making cells divide unregulated. That's bad. But there's good exosomes. Plasmasomes are pointed signals that are synthetically made just to go to your skin. So we just want the good ones. So you can microneedling dry or add something that's made in a lab built for microneedling and absorption with a derma roller. And I use plasmasomes, but microneedling is good. Skin boosters, we could go on for a long time. I have videos on those. Skin boosters would be non-cross-linked hyaluronic acid, like flash fillers. Threads are actually biostimulators because they stimulate the growth factors in your face. So PDO threads, as an example, even PLLA threads, PCL threads. Gua sha, okay, that's priming. Mine has red light vibration, for instance, but just the act of increasing blood flow, the act of massage, the act of lymphatics, effect on lymphatics, that helps. And then there's LED and red light. That's a way to prime your skin for everything. All skin types, it's ubiquitous. You can get red light everywhere. I have videos on that. But red light is now thought to be a skin booster because of what it does. So remember, I'll draw down here. We want to prime the skin. And then PRF versus PRP, I have all kinds of videos on those. PRF is a great primer for the skin, but it needs to be injected. It's from a blood draw. PDRN, salmon sperm DNA, I like it. Been to the factories, have many videos from the factories. And I presented that recently at a Congress in Los Angeles from the factory in Korea. It was fun. But that's, you'll know PDRN or salmon sperm facial from that. Here's one I want to talk to you about. I got to erase, this is so important. I want to erase everything here and tell you about this. And I'll have more coming up on this. I'm going to say by 2 weeks. So hold your horses a little on this. I have something really cool coming. But what is spicule? Go to the pen so I can draw here. What is spicule skincare? Right here down the bottom. Let's put that in red. Spicule skincare. So it's skincare that has little spicules, and if you get the right ones, they actually can attach peptides. And you don't need needles or anything, but you can rub it in, the spicules go in, and they deliver things. You have to know exactly what you're using. You see some of these things, $10, $20, $30, disaster. So they have to be correct. I'll do more on this so you know exactly what to buy in the next few weeks. But this is the next level, and it's not for everyone. Because when you feel your face, I did a treatment last night. When you feel your face, you're going to feel little pokes in there. And certain of them will be 3 days. I did the in-clinic version once. It was 7 days. So you really feel those little prickles. So it's not for everyone, but that's the next step up. It's very well tolerated, and I've never seen an allergic reaction personally to it.
But if you're super sensitive skin, you might avoid it. I'm going to do a complete, in fact, I should do it from Korea. I'm going to Korea here in a few weeks. I should do a Spicule skincare live stream from Korea. Comment if you want to see that. We can even go to the factory. Let me arrange that. And then, of course, things like hyperbaric oxygen, huge in China. It's everywhere. Next to 7-Elevens, you get hyperbaric oxygen. They're so rare in this country, but the trend's coming. That is the super cycle of it. So there's all kinds of skin boosters, but I would say the biggest one that people don't realize the skin booster is red light, and they don't think of the power of that. So in closing of this slide, just know that nature always wins. If you're doing nothing, you don't care about peptides, you want to follow it, you want to see what's going to happen, you need more data, it's not right for you, your body composition is perfect, you don't have a lot of weight to lose or so on, you start and you incorporate this, even if you're on peptides, right here, strength training, protein, sleep, and recovery, focus on body composition, not just the scale. Aim for a moderate calorie deficit. Don't lose more than 10 pounds quickly, and don't lose more than 10 pounds unless you prime first, or you're going to see it in your face. Prioritize sleep and recovery. You're not 20. If you're like me and you're older, you're going to maybe take a nap once in a while. It's okay. Consistency and patience. I'm going to take everything off the screen because I think you got to see this one. Let's go, maybe green will show up. But if I could preach one thing to people, it's this one at the bottom. Consistency and patience, and it will transform, but you just don't want to do everything all at once.
Okay, team. We're not done yet, and I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you the that page for that. I had a question on black garlic. Is my black garlic from Korea? What a great question that is. My black garlic is made in America because if you don't know what black garlic is, it's fermented garlic. So a lot of people can't take regular garlic. The other night, I made up a stir fry. I showed it on my community page, and I think I put too much garlic in there too. So even me, like a rock stomach, I travel the world, never have a problem. Knock over here. And I think there's too much garlic in it, but I love the garlic, right? So black garlic's fermented garlic. But here's the beautiful part. It's way easier in the body, but it's 3 times more potent antioxidants than regular garlic. And so I get it made in USA, organic, at an organic farm that I found. And there's a few farms in America, but I handpicked this one as the best. And it's not that expensive. But during the virus times, I still never, again, I got to knock somewhere, never had the virus. And I traveled. I was in Monaco lecturing. I was all over Europe. I was in Dubai at that time, all over the world. I never stopped traveling and never got it. But I took my black garlic everywhere. And I know it's a food, and sometimes they don't let you over certain borders. But I also just always fessed up, say, hey, I got black garlic, and I got in. They let me take it. So if you're not, black garlic's one thing. Yes, I sell it on the site. B, you can make black garlic at home. It takes 2 or 3 months. You can make your own black fermented garlic, and you can get a little thing that ferments it for you if you want. It's way easier just to buy mine. It's inexpensive. You can go on the website. It's there, but I don't talk about it enough. But it's a huge antiviral, antioxidant, 3 times the amount of garlic. And when people that can't take garlic, they tend to be able to take this. You might see it on pizzas. That's sometimes, like, I go out and eat rarely, but when I do, I'll see it, black garlic, fermented garlic on pizzas. Comment where you see it, because as I think about it, I really don't see it when I go out and eat, but I don't go out and eat in America. Yeah, a bit antisocial here. I don't like the experience so much. And when I'm in Vegas working, I do go, but they take me out to dinner. So, but black garlic, Spicule skincare. I got to talk to you about that. And I'm thinking out loud here, so I could get in trouble. But I found a company, spicules are little bits, millions in the skincare that go in, okay? But I found a company, what the problem is with spicule skincare is that they put stuff on the spicules that gets to go a little deeper. And it's not a needle, it's well tolerated. I can feel little prickles on the skin right now, just a little bit. And I didn't go out on the water, do any sports today. So in that sense, you want to do it at the right time. They can be clinic versions or at home. I have very limited numbers of authentic stuff where the peptides stick to the spicules, so they don't, when the spicules go in with traditional stuff, it sheds the good stuff from getting to where it needs to be in your skin. But I found a technology that holds on to the peptides so they actually get into the perfect layer of the dermis. Unfortunately, to start with, we have limited numbers. So here's what I'm thinking that we do, and I'm thinking out loud. I don't know what we're going to do, but for those of you that are great customers and that are following and here, we might just do a private live stream, not to sell you it because they're limited numbers, to educate you. And those who, this isn't for everybody, but those who feel like they want to step up their skincare game will have the ability to purchase. And then probably a few weeks after that, I'll have some more. But this is hard to get stuff. Mocker certified for the USA. This stuff's just coming over here, and it's all in Korea, made in Korea, from Korea, but it's certified authentic. There is some really bad spicule stuff out there, and it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So you got to know what you're using. This is not like throwing a cream from Walmart on your face. But I use it, and I love it. And I told you I had the in-clinic version when I actually went from Korea to Thailand, and I put it on in Korea. And I was stinging for 3 days. Put it on my abs. I thought, oh, it'll be good for the body too. And the in-clinic version's intense. But the at-home, where can you get it? Well, I'll have some for you. I will. But it's a couple weeks away. But please don't go order it online, especially on Amazon, because there's no turning back. So it's not for everyone, but it's going to be for a select group of you. We'll figure out how we'll do it. I do want you to watch your inbox from this. So to recap on this before we go to some more Q&As, Memorial Day specials for you guys understand, up to 40% off of a lot of stuff. Order over $150 and you get the free Glow travel pouch. We looked at all your comments. And by the way, in the spicules, you guys are still asking, I'm going to do a complete live stream because I need to educate people on it. Not that you're not educated, but I had to educate myself. So I want to transfer that knowledge to you because I didn't know to the extent that I know now. Also, $15 gift cards for orders over $50. And this is good for the next 24 hours. Okay. Again, if you're interested in these spicules, we'll probably do a closed live stream. So get on the email list and get on that live stream. That's the only way you'll probably know about it. I'm going to have to close it because we only have several hundred to start. So back to the specials, $15 gift card for over $50. And that will only be good for the next 24 hours. So you guys can go to the link here on the screen and enter your email and you'll get sent the gift card. So it's a gift card for you. My gift to you guys. And I told you how important Veterans Day is to me, Memorial Day. And what I do ask of you is I'm giving you a $15 gift card. Take 10 minutes of your day. I used to watch with my kid, we would watch movies, war movies, because I wanted him to understand what this was about. Take 15 minutes of your day and describe to your kids what happened historically and why we're walking around free, and you can be on this live stream and I can talk to you freely here. That's like unbelievable. And I travel the world. I go to places that aren't free. So by free, I mean, we're not free to do what we want. Not nice. So get the gift card, but please educate people around you on Memorial Day. It's important to me. So we'll send you it by email. Check your spam folders always. We have people that say, hey, I had a problem with the device. I emailed you, never heard back. We get back to everyone always. It's Rajani, but it might be in your spam folder. Or you might technically not be able to get it, but we send everything and we communicate well. Claudia is going to comment the link, and Alexa's adding it on the screen here. So you see it there, store.rajanimd.com. And HAL, no, HAL1 NUA, HAL1 NUA. That's a halo NUA. There you go. So HALONEWA. I don't think that's cap sensitive, but it might be. It's not cap sensitive, but just so you can remember it, Halo NUA. Okay, it's kind of a mouthful, but that's what it is. So you can copy and paste that. You can look at it. You can take a picture of it, whatever you need to get there, but you're going to want to get there. Thank you. Yes, we have fantastic customer service. Honestly, we do. Let me tell you about one thing today, and this is important to me. Like I had someone, angry because they had an empty package. Do you think I'm ever going to send you an empty package? But I'll tell you right now, and you see what's going on in California and everywhere, and you see the elections and everything, but the amount of theft of product in our mail system, in our trains, in our en route, people going up to your houses and stealing stuff, we insure packages against that. I'm never going to send you an empty package or try and rip you off in any way, shape, or form. But I'll tell you, the amount of theft we have is a huge cost to our company. So vote accordingly, poll accordingly, put pressure on people in our community accordingly. We can't have theft and crime, and it's driving prices up. It's making business very difficult for people who want to do business the right way. So understand, we get a lot, the odd time, I mean, it's not, but don't be angry with us. We're going to make it right, and things are outside of our control. If your UPS guy goes and throws something onto your porch, I can't control that. Rajani's not hand holding your UPS driver. And then here's something in there in that link. There's some things in that link, but from the comment section, Claudia has you guys all want the Halo mask, and I don't blame you. And there's no new mask coming. That mask is state of the art. So if you're on a Halo, you want PEMF, you want to be able to turn your red off, your near infrared off, so you only have red light, and you want the ability for blue for acne or for your kids. You receive a free NUA. That's crazy. I'm reading this off, but you get a free NUA and a Glow travel pouch. To my team out there, I want to make sure you thought about this. They might be bankrupting me as I speak because I'm reading off what they found that you wanted. So you get a free NUA device, which is skin tightening, with the purchase of a Halo mask. So once you enter your email, you'll get that. And you're going to have to write down if you want something, or write it here if you want something. And so, yeah, I'm reading off what they write, and they're going to write something else to me here. So stay online and let's see what they're going to write. And NUA works great. I see you guys commenting that, and I didn't write this one down, but someone wrote, "Hey, I'm using my NUA and I have a chiseled jawline." Yeah, we see it every day. I use my NUA a couple times a week, and I don't use it. I have playlists for all of this, right? So I have playlists to teach you how to use it, different routines, what to do and what not to do. I'm going to put a video up, I think it's this Sunday, on all kinds of routines, and that what to do and what not to do. And that plasmasomes, which are these, which I talked to you about, signals, which are like exosomes. If you guys want to know about exosomes, I just did a talk on exosomes for a large company. So I know all about exosomes, where they come from. And then understand too, this came through that they're letting me know, so you guys know. I got to read this first. I got to read this. My dad was 17 years old, went to World War II. Don't make me cry online. Army infantry. Wait, let's bring that up. Army infantry, got malaria, boots on the ground in longest battle in U.S. history in Philippines. I know about the war, the history in Philippines. Thank God he came home. Good. I can't be crying online here tonight, you guys. But that's the emotion that I get for this stuff. Yeah. So enough said on that. But people went at age 17, you guys. I mean, you just have to sit there and go, oh, look at your 17-year-old kids, send them out the door, whether they're 21 or 28. And we're not getting on that, but just you guys understand how important that is. Thank you. Okay, back to the sales. So here we are. Never seen figure out the contest thing. This is not a contest thing now, so don't worry, because I know some countries can't partake. This is a landing page, so everyone can get this. The lip and mouth device is now how many of you guys have an FSA or HSA? I have an HSA personally. That's your health savings account. So understand that you can use money tax-free that you put away there. And we just got approved as I'm sitting here now, because we put this in for a while. I couldn't figure out why they weren't approving it, and they did, because the lip and mouth device is amazing for your lips, for your gums, for rejuvenation of the whole perioral area. And you can purchase a lot of our stuff. When you go on the site, you'll see it's FSA or HSA approved. Maybe you can list a couple of other things up there for me so I can tell you so I don't speak off. But Claudia will put a couple things. The lip and mouth is brand new that it's approved. It should have been approved a long time ago, but understand this is how great my team is. They worked on this for the past year since we launched it to get it approved. You don't know why things don't get approved. You just don't know. This is the world I live in. Like, how could you not approve red light for the gums and teeth whitening? But it's tax-free. So note a lot of our stuff, the Halo mask, you can use your HSA to purchase the Halo mask. What's the Halo mask for those that don't know? That is the LED mask with the chin strap, with the hair. So it has the wavelengths exactly for your hair and hairline, because a lot of people are getting facelifts. You have scars above here. You don't want to lose your hair, or you get to, if you do, you'll see the scars from the facelift or the brow lift. And so that's why we developed this. But of course, everyone's interested in hair. And then, yes, someone asked me just now, plasmasomes. So let me just show you what it is, because I just did a big talk on exosomes. I can tell you all about them, the plant exosomes. And of course, we have the plant exosome cream from Korea that I'll be visiting as well. But this is how your kit comes from Plasmasomes. So it is derma rolling. It's a 0.25 millimeter derma roll for signals. These are your signals for the skin. You roll it on. This lasts you about 3 to 4 months. You can do it weekly. So it's multi-use. So that's what plasmasomes are. Pointed signals. There's 8 signals to your skin made in the USA at a USA FDA monitored lab. You know, it's Rajani stuff. You know how meticulous I am about quality and what those signals are. And I put tranexamic acid and niacinamide in there. So again, like Spicdual skincare, you're getting absorption of this stuff. Remember, that's skin priming. That's part of skin priming. So skin tightening, I told you all the companies skin tightening, and I can list them. You tell me which one you want to know about, from Ulthera, Thermage, Endolift. There's a gazillion out there. You guys know of Zerf, Extherma, Density. Those last 3 are from Korea coming over here. So the link, you're asking for the link, we'll put it up again. I'm going to pin it when we're done, of course, at the top of the comments. And you might mention to me up there how long this lasts. It's good to let everyone know. The link is not working for someone. We'll double check that. So yeah, someone mentioned Zerf. So Zerf is, and there's a better one. There's a better one coming than Zerf. And if you want me to feature that from Korea, put in the comments here. Do you want me to go get, Zerf is monopolar RF. Okay, and think of it like Thermage, but the latest one from Korea. Ultrasound is like Ulthera. There's one more in the USA. I'm spacing on it. And so if you want me to go to Korea, I don't know when I'm leaving here. It's in a few weeks. If you want me to go to a clinic in Korea, tape it, get the procedure done, I'll do it if you want to see it. But if you're considering getting Zerf, you might hang on. And this is available in the USA by the time I get back. You'll be able to get this. It's not something you've got to go to Korea for. So let me know if you want me to do that from Korea. I'll do that. Why wouldn't I go get a treatment, right? Can I use my red light mask the same day as my NUA? Absolutely. You skin prime with your LED mask, and then you NUA. That's a Korean treatment right there, because the red light supercharges your mitochondria through cytochrome C oxidase, pumps up the mitochondria. Now you're charged. Now when you do your NUA, you're getting the micro injury and inflammation, denatures the protein, and your body's healing process boosts your collagen and tightens your skin. So you prime with LED first, then you do your NUA. You prime with your LED first, then you do your plasmasomes. But after microneedling, you never do anything. Microneedling is always your last step, unless you have medical grade Korean sheet masks. So these are Korean sheet masks. This is exosomes. Okay, this is mine. These are Centella asiatica. These are plant-based exosomes. Okay, and these are synthetically made, so there's no human RNA and DNA. It's all the stuff that I would use on my face for me or my family. So it's not the stuff that you don't want. But yes, you would do that. Pop up. We can do a lightning round if you guys want. Where's the discount link? Let's make sure that's working. You're asking, because let's put discount link up there. Maybe we can put it up and still put the question. So there's the discount link. store.rajanimd.com/Halo Newa. HALONEWA. So yeah, you guys want to see that RF device over in Korea? I can do that because I have a free day in that schedule, and we can go to a super high-end clinic if you want. We could do a live stream from it. Maybe that's the way to do it. We could live stream it. The time difference might make it a little off, but we should do a spicule live stream over there. See how my work goes? I just create work for myself all the time. I'll do it. Use my derma roller weekly. Perfect. Carrie DeHara. Yes, you can pop that up. So let's do a little lightning round of Q&As for you guys. You might have them on peptides. It might be for the face. Tetra, please. Tetra. Are you talking about Tetra CO2? I'm not sure what Tetra you want to talk about. So you can follow up on that. Mark Kagi. I'm not good with names today. Mark Kagi. Super high-end clinic in-house. You want to do that? I'll go to like a super high-end clinic in Korea if you want. Let me tell you a little something about the Korean clinics. This will be funny, but hey, it's near the end of the live stream. We can say, kind of as they would tell, the peasants go to the first floor, and the on the top floor would be your, what are they, celebrities. So we'll see where they take me. I'll be either the first, second, or third floor. The fourth floor is full celebrity style. And I've been to visit all different floors, and many clinics are built like that. Low, second, third, fourth. I always try and get to the fourth. I'm not a K-pop celebrity over there yet, but surprising how many people watch YouTube and know me. It's good. Favorite Korean product, you're asking? Let me come back to that one. Let me answer this. I do want to give you my favorite Korean product. Do you wait for hours, or do you need to do it immediately after mask to microneedling? So the question is, if you're doing your LED, your mitochondria are supercharged for that day. Now, let's say you LED mask, I go out on the water and I'm surfing, windsurfing, kite surfing, or whatever, wing foiling, I get sun. Probably if I'm going to do microneedling at night, I would do red light again because I got UV on my face. The Koreans and the Asians use red light in the morning. The Chinese especially use red light in the morning because they don't like any sun on their face. You see them go with umbrellas. All the bus stops are covered. They don't like sun. So what they do is they use red light in the morning to prevent UV damage. So that's how you think about that. What's the best for hollowing under the eyes? Depends on the extent. You go from Volufiline cream, which is great, and then you step it up to PRF. So that's blood draw, spin it down, put it underneath. And if you do a couple sessions of PRF and you need more, you go to a Tigifiller, Restylane eye light. Okay, so there was one back there I wanted to answer. Best Korean product. You want the best, least expensive product from Korea? I went there personally years ago, and these Korean sheet masks for like $3 or something. If you buy 10 or 20, whatever it is, they're very inexpensive if you buy them in bulk, and you can buy lots. When you go to my website, you can shop, and the more you buy, the more you save. And these are all made with ingredients to my specifications. No one else has the same ingredient list on their masks. They're made specifically for me, and I spent time making them with the companies. These aren't just repackaged stuff, and I slap my name on them. They're specifically made to my specifications. So I use these after procedures. I use these after microneedling. I use these when the skin has been assaulted with all the harsh treatments we do in clinics, because we're using it to make the healing process of the body, build your collagen and elastin. Vivian, I like the masks. Let's see, I'll come back to that one. So Vivian, I like the masks at night because it helps me fall asleep faster, even better, relax me so much. Vivian, are you talking about the red light mask? Because I do that. Many people find the red light mask soothing. Or maybe you're talking about the Korean sheet masks, because a lot of people do fall asleep with these, and the Koreans spend their Saturdays, and the Japanese a lot of times, with sheet masks on that are built for the day. They stay moist. Depending on how your moisture is and the humidity in your bedroom or wherever you're sleeping, these will last a few hours as well. but you can use them as little as 15 minutes. So, but red light, people do use it at night and they say they sleep way better. I'm one of those too. And you can use it in the morning and the night. What's best for hollowing under the eyes? We went through that. We can change that one out. Volufiline cream followed by injections if you want. And also, of course, you want to tighten the skin, you can use plasmazomes. Let's see. Please do spicules live. I'm absolutely doing a live on it, and I'll probably do the live open to everyone when we have enough product, because people get angry when I talk about something that they can't obtain. And then you get the few that said, oh, you're selling stuff. Well, because people, obviously you're going to want to buy it if I talk to you, because it's the best spicules out there, because that's the companies that I work with. And I don't like the ones that don't do anything or that harm people. So I want to have enough stock, but we'll do a closed one first. So that's what we'll do. Best approach for temple hollowing. One of the things I didn't do on this live, and Claudia that's in the live stream with you, talking to you, mentioned, and you comment below if you want to do this, is look at a face, and I'll tell you what I would do with that face from an injectable point of view. Very easy for me. I know within 10 seconds of looking at a face and watching it move, what I would do. And people who see a lot of faces, we know exactly what we're going to do. Y'all, obviously, you got to talk to the person to see what their budget is, what's important to them. But if a lot of people just sit there and go, Rajani, do what you need to do. What would you do? Because a lot of people have a limitless budget because they understand what they do to their face pays back for years. So I get to do that a lot. And when we talk about temples, because we're talking about temples, let's go through three main options. Number one, filling the temples looks good if they're too hollow, and it lifts the edge of the brow. It just does, lifts the edge of the brow. So number one, you want a permanent solution? I like Bellafill up here, periosteal injections on the bone. If you want something that goes into the hairline, and I learned this in Europe about 15 years ago, the Euros did a lot of this. Sculptor goes in as a water, you put it in and you massage it up into the hairline. It really lifts the brow. But you're going to need, if you have a hollow temple, about 3 vials in total over a couple sessions for your temples. And it works over 6 months. Not everyone has the patience to do it, but you should have the patience to do it. And then your third option is hyaluronic acid filler. I just taught a big thing and lectured on it in Vegas about the new temple indication for Restylane Contour. And it's a 2-step procedure. One is where you can go in on the bone with a needle. The second is in a cannula in layer 2. Layer 2 is your subdermal fat. So those are 3 great options for your temple. If you don't want any of that, then Volufiline cream is your best volumizing cream to do that. Temples are a bit tough in that sense. And remember, this is with injections, the superficial temporal artery is where you can go blind. And we now know it communicates to the contralateral side. So in theory, I don't know of a single case, but you can go blind in both eyes at the same time. So you got to be careful. Can you use Sculptor on the lower face? It's amazing. I do with 18:1 dilution with PRF. And yes, of course, use it in the lower face. Where you might not ever use it is the upper lip, in the vertical lip lines in the upper lip, and too close to the lower lip. Other than that, I use it everywhere in the lower face. And you want to be either layer 2 in the fat, or you want to be on the periosteal layer, layer 5. Best red light for sagging skin. Honestly, I don't have it right in front of me, but my gua sha. I mean, you use your LED mask because it's easy. It's your hair, it's your jaw, it's your jowls. Okay, so that's the easiest. Put on your PEMF in mode 3, red light, near infrared. Done. Add your gua sha to it. Vibration and red and near infrared light. I'm a gua sha kind of freak because I just love it. In the morning, I'm a little bit got water on board. You just sculpt your face. You feel way better about yourself. You wash your face with a little bit of cold water, nothing else. Don't look at yourself. At a certain age, don't look at yourself. Just wash your face because you're going to feel better. You get light in your eyes for your cortisol. You have a big glass of water. You have your coffee. You gua sha blindly, and then go to the mirror and look at yourself. You're going to be way happier with yourself because gua sha sculpts, removes all that bad fluid, and you look 10 years younger to start your day. And your whole mind, your cortisol, your caffeine, everything's perfect. That's the Rajani way. Proud VA nurse here, 31 years caring for Americans here. Thank you so much. One day after all this, I would, hopefully I live long enough, I would love to go work in a VA hospital. And I don't think people understand You know, obviously, I think working a lot of the work that I did, you get traumatized from being out in the field and seeing what I've seen my whole life. And so I think there's an element of PTSD that's like, I can't even measure how small it is, but you multiply that by a gazillion for our veterans, and understand when they come back that you can't be right. I mean, I can't be right with what I've seen, and I couldn't imagine what they see. I can't even complain, can't even talk about it. So that's service. Thank you. I have one deep forehead line on the side of my face. It's horizontal and does not look nice. What is a good option? I have one deep forehead line on the side of my face. Forehead and side of the face, maybe two lines. It's horizontal, does not look nice. Horizontal this way. So if you have one line, there's so many things you can do. First of all, why is the line there? Is it movement dynamic? Does it get worse with movement? Then it's a movement line. Obviously, red light, priming, skincare, plasma glow, Volu 5-line cream, support your structure. NUA RF. It's all about structure of the face at the end of the day, and your skin routine with what you can do at home. And then if you really want to, you can certainly go fill in a line to give it support. Go get a skin booster, non-cross-linked HA, especially they're all over Europe and they're inexpensive. Oh, I could think of some names here. They'll come to me of ones you might not even know them if I told you. But even things like Sinicos, were injectable amino acids, all the non-cross, like Prima, Prime, PRIMEHA is one, and just inject them right into that line. You can do it into necklace lines if you hate those. So that's an injection. Never do that with something like Sculptra or Bellafill. You'll end up scarred for a single line. Those are for complete face structure. Yes, face analysis would be good and amazing. So here's what I want to know in the comment section from you guys. This is really helpful because my team will then be like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Do you think, and remember, I have people up on stage, on beds, we're injecting them, we have models. I see models all over the place at the shows that I do. And they're getting free treatment, so they're a little more motivated. Do you think that people from here want to submit their real picture for me to look at? Would they be too intimidated? And what I can't have is show a picture and put it up and do it, and then someone 2 years later say, well, now I'm married, or now my boyfriend doesn't want my picture up there. That's what happens. So that's why I can't show a lot of stuff I do, because it's evergreen. And it's not like 20 people see my stuff now. We get 8 million views a month. So a lot of times people that in a specific town that I treat and they are on my channel would get recognized when they go to the gym, when they go out for coffee. Like, oh, I saw you on Rajani's channel. You just got Botox done. You got Latibo done. You got Sculptra done. And they recognize them. And luckily, everyone's been okay with that. But that puts me in a precarious position because some their life changes 2 years later. And they're like, you remember when I did that video? Can you take that down? Because I don't want to be recognized anymore. Life changes. So would people submit their picture for me to look at online, and we can use it and look at it? So, or do I create pictures to look at? I don't know how to do it. That's the logistic problem, but I'm sure you guys are going to tell me how to get the pictures. And I could look at, you got to understand my life. I mean, there's a lot of tough decisions in the run of the day. And Rajani, keep your life easy. Why deal with that? Yeah, you're saying, yes, I would. So you guys would give your picture. And what I would do is look at it and say, here's what I would do. Very easy for me to do. This is what I do for a living. Understand, a lot of YouTube channels you watch, a lot of people you watch, and you take what people say at face value. They don't see patients. They don't see people. They don't have clients. They've never injected Sculptra, and they're talking about Sculptra. Never injected fillers. I've done thousands of this stuff. RF microneedling, CO2 lasers. I got a CO2 sitting right next to me. I got devices all around me I use. So hair removal. I've done tens of thousands of people in the 2000 era of hair removal. So understand that those are, sometimes I don't do things because logistically it creates problems in my life like that. And also understand when people tell you things online, I got to deal with what you guys are telling me because it's misinformation. But I know you're being told by dermatologists on here that haven't worked in. Imagine dermatologists, yeah, they're board certified and they're telling you about Sculptra, never injected a real face in their life. I don't understand that about social media, but let's keep going. So yeah, it seems like a lot of you would allow me to use your pictures. And again, this is all for learning, and I could draw out what I would do. And then you could ask questions. Well, what about that? I heard about this treatment. Why wouldn't you do that? Why would you use Sculptra there? Why not PRF? Why would you do fillers? Now, I can talk to all of it because most of the stuff I've used before or I currently use. And people send me stuff all the time. And like when I'm in Korea, I'll be in clinics every day, 4 or 5 clinics a day. And that shows with people. There's something really cool going on in Korea, which is why I'm going over there, something they've never done before, and they want me to go over because of that. See, I don't even know what I can say. Yeah, Chrissy Bennett, it's 18-1. 18-1 is a good dilution for lower face. Understand, when you talk about Sculptra dilutions, the Brazilians use 18-1, 36-1 all the time, and they get amazing results. What I learned from the Brazilians injecting Sculptra, and they're great at it, when they do their before and afters, they don't just do stills, they do movement before and afters. So when you see their before and afters, they do movements. And remember, doctors over there, up until just recently, couldn't post before and afters. So plastic surgeons can't, but the dentists were allowed. It's crazy. Like all these laws. Hong Kong, you can't be on social media with your aesthetic stuff if you're a doctor. So all these little nuances that you guys probably aren't aware of, that I know that it's makes our life kind of tough, that I have to think about with all this stuff. But yes, 18-1 dilution, because you take a 1.5 cc syringe and you put 1.5 cc's of PRF liquid, 1.5 cc's of 9-1 Sculptra, and you get 18-1. So yeah, people are saying, Rajani, they're probably saying, oh, what's the next thing? So June 7th is the next live stream. And if I'm in Korea, I promise I'll get up at whatever ungodly hour and do it. I don't think I'm there quite yet. But we're going to do a live stream. Why everyone's putting Rajani in the comments, I didn't know. I don't know why. Did you ask them to put Rajani in the comments for some reason? I don't know. Oh, you want but they're commenting Rajani. Okay, great. So we'll triple check. I see a couple of people saying the link isn't working. store.rajanimd.com/Halo NUA. We've checked it a bunch. It's working. It's working for most people. Check your browser. What do you want for the next live stream? What topic makes the most sense that I can bring you the most value that's within my wheelhouse? Any plans come to Canada? I'll be there in July. Yeah, Claudia, tell me here, let them know. Oh yeah, so the link is working. Thank you. Claudia's up there telling me the link's working. Claudia, tell me why they're all putting Rajani in the thing. Maybe I told them to, or maybe you did. But the offer of the sale that's on now is for 24 hours. So until tomorrow night. So that's a good point. A lot of times, of course, these live streams live on and you guys are like, the link isn't working. We can't keep them in there. Yeah, so Claudia told them to say that if they want to submit their photo. Perfect. See, communication's key, right? So yeah, so Claudia's right. She said that you guys would have no problem submitting your photo. And I'm happy to do it. We can even take your photo, put it in an AI and change your eye color or something if you want to do that to keep your anonymity. You don't want to live a life like me where you have to shave every day and have your not look like, like you've come out of the backyard gardening because people see you. So I got to be conscious of that. So it's not the life you want. You want no one to see you and recognize you anywhere, so you can have your coffee in peace. So I don't want you to be. We can change your eye color. Yes, you got your code by way of email. Okay, great. And yes, you get a free NUA. So that's crazy. So there's some stuff in there up to 40% off. That's the sale. And then understand you get a free NUA. I don't think we've ever done that before. Write something down if you have a message to me. And then the special for 24 hours, and they can contact experts@rajanimd.com. So of course, if you have problems with anything in the Rajani realm or world, particularly links or anything, understand experts@rajanimd.com. My team makes everything possible. They're amazing. We work together and we get crazy stuff. People, like I said, the dog ate their stuff, or the mailman threw the package, or they didn't like the way the mailman looked that day. I can't help you with that stuff, although they tried. If anyone will, they will. I got to move this down so I think there's something up there. New question on the screen. Okay, here we go. How long have you followed? This is really good because we need to know when we're doing this spicule. If I have to do it in allotments and private sessions, I don't like to have to do that stuff, but understand you can't get this kind of quality stuff. It's all certified over to this country like that easily. So we have to start tightening things up. But how long have you followed me? A, you're brand new here. Of course, we love that. Less than 6 months, that helps us know. C, 6 months to 2 years, or D, many, many years. So A, we have some brand new people, and we love that too. So we don't discriminate. We will allow you and all an opportunity to be on some private live streams. But for the first rounds of a few things, and in a way, you guys are going to be seeing how Americans over time deal with some of the products coming from Korea. I think that's the best way that I can say that, because this is stuff that's time proven, tested by me and my team. But understand, this stuff pushes the limits for Americans, like the spicule skincare. And I bought a bunch of $20 and $40 and $50 stuff to test it towards the more expensive stuff. And you got to be careful. And hopefully you guys understand by now, a lot of the sites selling stuff that aren't certified are actually bona fide fakes. And I was on the call with a European company actually, and they were getting stuff made in other countries I won't mention. And they were like, we cannot even get the materials to make the products at the prices they're being sold online, which is even scarier, because what that means is not only can't they get the materials, they can't make it, they can't put labels on it, they can't ship it, they can't get it here, they can't pay the duties, they can't even buy the raw materials at what some stuff is being sold for. So enough on that, but I hope you guys understand when you get to the more intense stuff, like what we're talking about, like Exobomb, I'll be working with those guys in Korea next month. When you start to see that stuff for like 20 and 30 and 40 bucks, that's exosomes that you're going to put on your skin that absorb. Exobomb's been studied in burn patients. So like that absorbs. So please buy whatever you're buying certified from real. And if the price is some ridiculously low price, especially with spicules, derma rollers, derma rolling stuff, never put it in or near your body. Does volufiline work? Volufiline is one of, so if you go to Eastern Bloc in Europe, you guys know the old Eastern Bloc. I don't even know if it's kosher to say that anymore, but Eastern Europe, I'll say, and this isn't part of the Eastern Bloc, but if I'm going to say, you go to Poland, if you've been to the Ukraine, I've been to Russia. If you go to Czechoslovakia, you go to countries over in Eastern Europe, we'll say. Volufiline is everywhere. Where I first saw it was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, forms of it was in Italy, where all the water's coming up, and in Rome. And so I saw it in Italy, and it was in a syringe and they're advertising breast enlargement. And I was like, what are they putting in a syringe? But it was cream in the form of a syringe that looked. I'm like, wow, they're crazy over here. People go home and inject their breasts with something to enlarge them. But it was volufiline cream. And it was very common because it was studied in breasts. But where they're putting it on mainly is in the buttocks a lot of times when the butt was in for the BBLs. But on the face, it's a wonderful product. But here's the problem is a lot of people, there's a company called Sederma, and it's a company from France, recently bought out or taken over. But if it's not from Sederma volufiline, it might be from the plant. It's plant-based, but Sederma has the patent on the real stuff. Once again, you got to get the real stuff. But if you go to Eastern Europe, and they know their aesthetics in Eastern Europe, don't mess with the Czechs, with the Poles, the Ukrainians, the Russians. I mean, I got tons of stories about Russia, but when they know their aesthetics, they don't mess around. Stuff I saw, this was the PRP that I learned about 12 years ago in Russia. Next level spins that they were doing in Russia 12, 13 years ago. I learned a ton there. And that was on the outskirts of Moscow. So Volufiline, what brand of Volufiline? Rajani MD. But what's special about Rajani MD? Of course, we get it from Sederma, the patented, that costs money. But more importantly, what I realized with that these people from the Eastern Bloc, the women were doing, they weren't just using Volufiline, they were adding THD ascorbate and a little bit of retinol palmitate to it. So I put that in my one cream that's Plasma Restore Volufiline. That's how that cream came to be. Because for it to work properly, the study of Volufiline was just on Sederma's Volufiline, the plant. But this isn't how the girls were using it. They add a vitamin C, and THD ascorbate is the most stable lipid-soluble form. That's the key. So if you're using it, if you're getting a good source and you want to keep using it because somehow you found a great source, match it up with THD ascorbate, because you need vitamin C to build collagen, and add a little retinol palmitate. So you can see the mixture that I added in mine, and added another oil to it. So you'll see. What would you use for jowls to slim down? You could use RF microneedling, burn the fat, right? We just talked about RF microneedling that burns fat at the right temperature and duration, 1 second to 6 seconds duration. But if you want to use Sculptra along the jawlines, FDA approved, to inject in the preauricular and lift. If you don't want to get any injections, very easy, NUA, at-home RF. That's what we use in clinics. Radio frequency, no needles, the same head as the EndyMed, and you get it free with the red light mask. The red light's going to prime the NUA that you get for free. It's a $300 or $400 product, whatever it is, you get free. Use it 3 times a week. That's what I use. So that's a great one for gels. I love my Exobalm cream after my derma roller weekly session with plasmasomes. It's amazing. Like Exobalm, that's how it's used in Korea, by the way. They use Exobalm cream after microneedling. So you're on it. That's how I learned about Exobalm, Exego Bio. And I was invited and I lectured at the #1 exosome conference in the world, which is in Korea every October. And I lectured there. I went overtime. You know me, I went over my allotted time, but they were very kind. I was the only person they let me go overtime and didn't scold me. So I must have gave a good lecture, but I did. I did give a good lecture. I put time into it. Can you go over how to treat dry skin? I use many of your products, and I'm wondering if my products are just sitting on top of my skin and making it appear dry towards the middle of my day. Very easy. There's 2 things with that. Use the products like I tell you how to use them, but my cream, if you want to use Ultra Moisture, was built exactly for that. It's a combination of oils, but a better way yet, you're probably not using Korean sheet masks. It's the #1 way that people overseas, that our group of people, and I send these to companies that I work with. I'll send 100 or 200 to their staff, and they love them. In fact, we get orders from companies that are doing their yearly, what would you call it, meetings, their corporate meetings, to send this stuff over, and they purchase it. We see big purchases go through of people buying our stuff who have their own stuff. I mean, I think that's a compliment. I love that. But Korean sheet masks. How long after Sculptra can you use NUA or Gua Sha? That's a great question. Short answer, obviously follow what your doctor says. For when I do Sculptra, you can use this up to a day before your treatment. After your treatment with Sculptra, mostly in Europe, it's 2-2-2. You're going to massage your face twice a day for 2 minutes, at a time, twice a day for 2 days. 5-5-5 is what we tell Americans. So massage your face 5 times a day for 5 minutes for 5 days. So I tell people to wait about, my patients, 7 to 8 days, because they know what I've done. If I don't know the technique or the depth used of your Sculptra, I'd say wait 2 weeks. But RF will not melt PLLA. It melts at over 100 degrees Celsius. This gets to 42, and it won't. And Sculptra is built to spread. But sometimes you put it periosteally, and they don't want you messing with it for 2 weeks. So it really depends on the layer used and the concentration of Sculptra, but 2 weeks is a good rule of thumb. See how complicated that stuff can be. Podcast dude's wife here. Love it. Love podcasts. He needs upper eyelid lift to see better. So you may have seen, I was in Vegas. I
at the nightclub there, and there was a famous guy come over. He's like, Rajani. I'm like, is he really asking me this? He wanted to know about getting an upper bleph. What should he use below the lower lid to tighten without surgery? So what you want to do, you want to watch your below the lower lid to tighten. So I want to dissect this out because you said needs upper eyelid lift to see better. Okay, if you need that, then remove the skin. So that's your surgery. Now, if you want below and you don't want to do a lower bleph with fat repositioning, if it's not that deep, look up a couple things here. One, of course, you know, a lot of us use plasmasomes. Okay, so that's derma rolling with plasmasomes. You can add RF, radio frequency. We do it in clinic. But without surgery, think about PRF, platelet-rich fibrin. So you put the gel. I use Easy PRF and Easy Gel. Put the gel deep, and then you put the liquid on top. So it's 2 layers, one on the bone and one in the fat. Understanding that the PRF has mesenchymal stem cells. Your PRF has exosomes in it, your own exosomes, autologous. There's no drugs in it. So it's fully autologous, means comes from you. And the mesenchymal stem cells going on the bone helps create, stem cells can create into other cells. So bone creates into bone, skin creates in skin, fat creates into fat. So that's what I do, PRF. And if you need a little bit of filler after that, Restylane Eyelight is what I use. And you can use it pointedly and you barely need any. So, but it's a process if they're really deep. And so I tell people we're going stage 1, 2, 3, and that's what I would do. But yes, a lot of people don't want the lower left because of the complications. Plasmasomes with the microneedling for under eye. Yes, you're asking that. You obviously, the under eye is delicate. You got to be very careful. And a lot of you people on here are well versed in skincare. But if you're going to be flippant, you don't want to put my derma roller near your eye. But I use mine right through to where I can get it to the lower area. You have a thin dermis there, but remember it's a 0.25 derma roller, specifically for what? Absorption signaling. I would not use a 0.5. Even when you grab a pen, you're in clinic, I don't use a microneedling pen beyond 0.5, 0.5 for the under eye. But I microneedle, and your provider, if you get microneedling done with the pen, I'm sure he or she does your lower eye lid. I'm not sure how to get the gift card or to the storefront. store.rajanimd. Right there, scrolling along the bottom, store.rajanimd.com/Halo Nua. Halo, it always throws me off because it looks like Halo Hal 1, Halo Nua. So just copy that down and you can go there. So there we go. There's some questions. How are we doing? So we'll take a couple. Let's do one more question. Let's take this Easy Gel one because I want to do that. I don't know what it is. I just saw Easy Gel. Let's see what it is. My doctor said she won't use PRF Easy Gel in the hollows of my eyes because I have some fat accumulation, malar bag on one side. Okay, great. So first of all, do what your doctor says, not what I said. They're looking at you. I can't overrule what your doctor's saying. What a lot of people don't understand about the Easy Gel part always goes deep on bone, never superficial. So it's going to bring the whole thing forward. If I was in a case where I wouldn't do that for them, the only thing they could do, that means they need surgery because you have an orbital septum that separates the outside of your face from the brain, inside the brain area, roughly. Okay. That orbital septum, the fat pad's herniated to the extent where PRF and Easy Gel won't work. I've done fillers like Restylane L for people, and it's come out good. Done 2 or 3 sessions. But at that point, honestly, most people just need go for a lower bleph. If your doctor's saying that and it's right. But understand, what people don't realize about PRF is it makes the whole milieu of the area better. So unhealthy fat becomes healthier fat. Unhealthy skin becomes healthier skin, and often it rejuvenates. For me, in my hands, there's no downside to doing it and trying it. It's not going to make things worse. I've never seen that personally. That's my opinion for my patients. So I want to thank everyone for joining me today. We're going to do another live. We'll do more of these. I want to know in the comments as I'm gone, you can still comment. What do you want me to change about the lives that maybe you think I could do differently? How could I do them to give you more value? What do you like? What don't you like? Give me some guidance because my goal is always to give you value. Keep your skin and body,
beautiful, healthy, and vibrant. I thank you all, and I thank my staff. They're wonderful. Have a great day. Happy Memorial Day. Enjoy.